Tonight I would like to discuss a topic that I do not see being addressed as often as I believe it should, and that is the issue of regional governments. The regional governments that have been set up across the state have been taking decision-making power away from the individual and local elected governments in many areas. These regional organizations are able to influence or control decisions that should be made at the local level by having control over state and federal grants. These regional governments are set up in such a way that if a town or city decides to act independently of the wishes of the regional association, that town or city will not receive any of their tax money back that was supposed to go to infrastructure construction and maintenance. Having to pay the cost of this maintenance without the help of state and federal grants will cause these independent thinking towns or cities to go broke. Now, this is not just my opinion of how regional associations are operating in Connecticut. This is how the state has described the influence of regional planning organizations. In 2007, the Connecticut General Assembly's Legislative Program Review and Investigation Committee released a report titled Connecticut's Regional Planning Organizations. In this report, it states that in some towns, local officials are concerned about a loss of autonomy in regards to signing on to a regional planning organization, or an RPO, and describes the tactics used by the RPOs to overcome the will of these towns who may want to go rogue and not follow the RPO plan. I will now quote from the committee report, quote, "The property tax burden on the individuals in the town that goes it alone can become very heavy. However, until the town reaches a financial tipping point where efforts to balance the provision of services with the cost of those services cannot be maintained, there may be little desire to seek out a regional solution. Only then will the town and its citizens be ready to give up some independence and join together with other towns for the provision of goods and services in order to stabilize or reduce local property taxes." End quote. Basically, the state and federal government take more and more of our money under the guise of transportation and other innocuous-sounding functions, and after deducting the massive amount that is usually lost through government bureaucracies, give us back the remaining dollars, only on the condition that we follow their strict rules and regulations. If we don't go along with their plan, we don't get our money back and the city runs out of money. The Regional Planning Association, which allocates state and federal grant money for the city of Bristol, is the Central Connecticut Regional Planning Association, or the CCRPA. In their 2012 annual report, the CCRPA stated that they coordinated with Renaissance Downtown on the Depot Square project for downtown Bristol. I would imagine that coordinating with the CCRPA is a necessity for Renaissance or any developer involved in a public-private partnership with development project in the city looking to use taxpayer money. To make the matter of regional governments even more complicated, the CCRPA has begun coordinating their regional plan with an even larger regional organization called the Sustainable Knowledge Corridor, which covers an area of over 80 towns and cities, 1.5 million people, and includes areas in Connecticut as well as Massachusetts. But who are these people that have this power and are making governmental decisions that directly affect us? The residents of Bristol do not get to vote for people to make decisions for them at the regional level. I wonder how many Bristol residents know that this is how the system is working. I see people coming in here suggesting their ideas and opinions of what they think should be done, specifically in the downtown project, as if they don't know the plan is pretty much laid out already. The federal and state governments are specifically focused on awarding money to development projects that can be described as sustainable development or smart growth. That is, projects which create multi-unit housing to increase population density built along a public transportation line, while at the same time structuring street design in a way that focuses less on private motor vehicle use. This is why Renaissance and other large developers create these smart growth plans of sustainable development. That is not the only way. That is the only way they're going to get the grant money. Again, this is not my opinion. This is how Renaissance describes the process on their website. I'll quote from their website, quote, "The Presidential Administration and Congress, through their Sustainable Communities Initiative, amongst other efforts, is looking to award federal dollars to large-scale smart growth redevelopment efforts, especially those that focus on transit-oriented development within our nation's downtowns. With this in mind, a comprehensive downtown redevelopment project designed to meet these objectives stands a far greater chance of receiving significant funding dollars than smaller isolated efforts. In short, the government is not looking to provide just streetscape grants and sidewalk benches. They are looking for transformative projects focused on our nation's downtowns." End quote.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just for your information, CCRPA will no longer exist as of January 1.
Yes, I know. They're merging into even the smaller organizations. 8. They're merging into 8, right?
Bristol is joining the Nantucket Valley COG 19.
Yes, the COG 19.
Nugget Valley, I'm sure you guys will do your research. You'll find
Yeah, well, the regional organizations from 15 are merging into 8. But, all right. Well,
Okay, thank you. Ed Dusko.